Join me, besties. Let's make this beautiful trendy skirt you're seeing on your screen right now. But before we start, you know the drill. Please subscribe to my channel right now if you have not already subscribed. And please engage on my posts. Like and leave a comment for me below. Thank you. And if you want to learn pattern making and sewing step by step systematically, sign up and join my online pattern making and sewing school. Once you sign up for just 12 euros, you will have access to more than 40 different tutorials, which include how to make different styles of skirts, tops, dresses, corsets, jackets, pants, and much more. Plus, I will be available to answer all your questions and help you with any challenges you may have while learning to sew. So, I will drop the link in the description box below. So if you're ready to learn, go ahead and sign up now. Now, let's head over to the table to start the business of today. Alright, come. So to start creating patterns for this drape skirt, you're going to need your front and your back skirt block, and then you're going to trace it out on a plain sheet of paper. I've already traced out mine. So if you don't have this skirt block, you can scroll down the videos on my channel, and then you can create one for yourself using your measurements. All right, it's very easy and straightforward. Then you're going to trace it out, and you're going to lengthen your skirt according to how you want it. And when you trace out the front part, please mirror it and trace out the other part. You see what I've done? Just this is half of the front. Just mirror it and trace out the other part and lengthen it according to your desired length. All right, so this is the front skirt. We're going to start with that first. Now the second thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our slash lines to create our drape. So you're going to go to this side of your, to the right side of your skirt block, and then you're going to mark your drape lines. So first of all, you're just going to take it down from the waistline. You take it down 2 cm. Well, before that, I usually like to eliminate my darts. So for this skirt, I think I want to remove my darts first, so that it will be easy for us to, once we slash our drape lines, it will be easy for us. So I'm going to just remove this waist darts. So to remove this waist dart, you just measure the value of your dart. My dart value here is 2 cm. So I'm going to go to the side seam, and then I'm going to mark 2 cm, just like this. So, and then I'm going to just connect it nicely to my hip line using my French curve. All right, so we don't need this part anymore. So that means that we have eliminated these darts. We don't need these darts anymore. We're going to do exactly the same thing for these darts as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to work with now. It's actually a lot easier for this particular style. So now on your side seam here, you are going to mark it down, say maybe 2 cm or thereabout. Yeah, so your drape is going to start from there, say about 2 cm, and then the remaining parts you're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. Well, it really depends on you, or you're just going to divide it into 4 equal parts. So mine here, I'm just going to mark 3.5. I'm separating it like 3.5, yeah. Okay, so I've marked mine. Now you come to this side, you're going to determine where you want your drape to start from. So let me put my meter rule like this. So maybe I want it to start somewhere around here. I want it to start somewhere around here. So I just mark my first line here. So it depends on you. You can take yours a little upwards Let me fold it so you can see it very well. So you can mark yours slightly upwards or you can bring it lower. It really depends on you. Just decide. And then you're going to mark your lines here too. So I've got how many lines here, or how many marks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to mark 5 lines here as well. But for this part, you can increase the width, your spacing. You can increase it a little bit. Here I use 3.5 cm. So here you can decide to use 4 cm, or you can decide to use 4.5 cm. It really depends on you. So here I'm using 4 cm. Okay, so that's it. So now you're just going to connect your lines. Connect this first mark here to the first mark here in a slanted form. Okay, and then you connect all the other lines as well. We're going to slash open these lines later. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to mark from the hemline. You can either take it out from your center. This is my center front line. You can mark from your center front line maybe about 1 cm, 1.5 cm or more. It depends on you. Or you can just mark directly on your center line. Like, it really depends on you. We just want to draw this curve here. Yes, so you just place your your curve, your French curve nicely like this, and then you draw your curve like so. All right, so once you've done this, the next thing for us to do is we're going to create the drape for the one that is going to be on top, kind of overlap, you know. So for that, you're going to trace out your front part, half part of your front part. You see, this is half of my front parts. Just trace it out. You can still go ahead and use your front basic block to trace it out. You see, this is what I've done, and lengthen it according to how you lengthen this. Or you can just place a tracing paper over this, and then you trace out your front part. I hope you understand it. Okay, because you need this part. This is kind of the overlap that is going to fall on top of these parts. All right, so we're going to set this aside for now. So let's finish this one first. So what we're going to do now is, let me cut off this excess paper before we slash and spread our lines. So we don't need these other parts because this is the opening we have. So I'm just going to cut off these parts. So now we're going to slash open our lines. So you're going to slash open from your right side all the way down to the end, but do not cut it through. Now you're going to get a plain sheet of paper, and then you're going to spread out your slash lines. So now you're going to spread it out about maybe 4 cm or 5 cm. It really depends on you, but just note that the wider you spread it out, the bigger your pleat is going to be. So for this one, I'm just going to spread it out 4 cm. Okay, so once you've spread it out and you're happy with the way it is, you are going to pleat. You're going to pleat it. So you're going to hold the first line here You're going to just fold it nicely, just like that, and then you're going to fold it on top of your second line, like that. Okay, now you're going to fold the other one, the second line, and then you're going to place it on top of the other line. So you're going to continue like that until you get to the top. So that's how you're going to pleat them. Okay, so once you finish pleating, now you're going to trim off all the excess paper. Just hold your pleats. You can use your scotch tape or your glue, whatever, just to hold them together in place before you trim. So once you open it up, you're going to have something like this, nice and neat. All right, so we finished this part. Now we're going to work on this other part, the part that overlaps it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Now for this part that overlaps it, you are just going to, because it's not directly on the center, this is my center front. This part here, this line is my center front. So we're going to take off a little bit from the center front. So on your waistline, you can measure maybe 2 cm or maybe 3 cm. It really depends on you. Just take off a little bit. I'm just going to measure 3 cm. It depends on how open you want it to be and how open you want it to be. So you see this part now, I'm just going to trim it off. We don't need it. Okay, the reason why we had to trim it off is because for this style, it didn't really start directly at the middle or at the center front. It's starting somewhere in between, just towards the side. So let me trim off this excess paper too, so that we can work nicely with this part. So for this part on the waistline, we are going to create pleat here. Now you're just going to ignore these dots because it's going to go out when we pleat it, so we don't really need it. So now you're going to measure on your waistline, you're going to measure the remaining part of your waistline, and then you're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. Now I have 20 cm here, so if I divide it into 4 equal parts, it's going to be like it's going to be 4 cm each. It's going to be about 4 cm each. So you're going to measure yours too, and then you divide it. So from here to here is 4 cm, from here to here is 4 cm. Yours may not be 4 cm, so whatever you have, you just divide it into 4, or divide it into 5 rather, into 5. But then you're going to have 4 lines when you divide into 5. Then you're going to draw these marks down, maybe about, let's say about 6 cm or thereabouts. Just these lines are just to help us to draw our pleats. Okay, so let me already put, because we don't need that anymore. So now you're going to, because there are pleats here, so you're just going to pleat these parts. Now you're going to take one leg of this line that you drew, just like this, and then you're going to place it on top of the other leg to create a pleat. You see, just like this. So you create your pleat nicely. Now because it's paper, so it's not really staying very well, it's not relaxing well. Okay, so now you're going to pick this other leg, and then you're going to pleat it to meet this other leg or this other line. You see, yeah, something like this. There are just 2 pleats on this design. You can add more pleats to yours, so it doesn't really matter. So you see the pleats now. Okay, so you're going to have something like this. Now let's just place it on top of our front part and then see how it looks. Now I'm just going to close these pleats. So when you place it on top, you are going to have something like this. So you see, your skirt is already ready. Like easy peasy, right? So that's how you actually make this skirt. It's very straightforward. The back design is just a regular back. There's really no difference. Now the only thing you need to do for this part now is you're going to add your seam allowance, and then you're going to cut it out. You're going to open it, place your seam allowance, 1.5 cm seam allowance all around, and then you're going to do the same thing for the other side before you cut on your fabric, or you place it on your fabric and then you add your seam allowance. Okay, maybe I should quickly do that so that we can test how it looks on our fabric. So you're going to place it on your fabric like so, and then you're going to add seam allowance as you cut. Don't forget to add seam allowance, otherwise your skirt is going to be too tight, too small. So add 1.5 cm seam allowance all around. So before you take your pattern out, remember to give it notches on this side, on the side of your pleat, so that you'll be able to pleat it. So on your first line here, so you notch it a little bit like this. You notch this second line, this one, and you just continue notching all your lines. Just notch them, because those lines are what will help you to pleat your skirt. So these are the lines I'm notching. Okay. So these are all the lines I notch. This part, this part, this part, just like that, so that I can pleat it very well. So now you get your pins, and then you, from the first notch, I hope you can see what I'm doing. From the first notch, you place it on the second notch like that, and then you use your pins to hold them together in place. Okay, then you pick the other notch and then you place it on this other one just like that. Okay, so you see the pleats are looking really nice and neat. So you're going to now take it to your sewing machine, and then you're going to go ahead and stitch these parts to hold the pleats together in place. Now let me show you how to do the other side now. So for this other side, you're going to open the pattern flat like this, and then you're going to add your 1.5 cm seam allowance all around and then cut. So again, before you take off your patterns, you are going to notch your lines here, your pleat lines, so that you don't get confused. So for the first pleat line, you give it a notch, then the second one you give it a notch, and then you notch this other one and notch this other one as well. So you're going to pleat it from the first notch, you place it on top of the second notch just like that. Use your pins to hold them together in place. And then you're going to take the second notch, place it on the other one just like this, and then use your pins to hold it together in place. So you can see our pleat showing nicely. All right, so now you're going to just go stitch this part and hold your pleats together. Now for this part, you are just going to fold it in nicely twice so that you have a clean finishing at the edge like that, and then you give it a very good press. So once you finish stitching and pressing your pleats, you're going to have something like this. And then for the one that overlaps it, once you just place it on top, you're going to have something like this. And that's it. The only thing you need to do is for you to join it to the back of your skirt and then add your waistband. Easy peasy. I hope this tutorial was easy for you to follow. Please let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this class, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you again in my next class. Bye bye.